Welcome back to 32 Bar Cut Broadway Banter. I am Adrienne Walker.
I'm Austin Cook.
And today we are going to talk about going back to auditions.
Yeah, we're back in the audition room. It's very exciting because we all know we went through COVID for a long time there. Yeah. And for a long time, audition casting directors were saying, hey,
self-tapes,
stay at home.
Don't come in here.
We've done whole videos on that.
Yeah.
We'll link to that here. But, now we're starting to get back in the audition room, and you were just in another audition room today.
Yep. So let's get into it.
Yeah, what's it like? What's going on in the audition room?
I am just getting adjusted to being in it again, honestly. I was excited to get the audition. I've been on three or four, 5 auditions, something like that, in the past couple of months. And a couple of them were for a play, and then the rest were for musical theater. And at first I was excited. I was like, yeah, I get to do this. And then as the date approached, I got nervous because I was like, oh my God, I have to be in front of people again. And I've gotten so used to just being behind the camera and getting to curate my audition how I want it and send it off and send my best take. But now I'm in front of living, breathing people who make facial expressions.
Or don't make facial expressions. What's wrong with you?
While you're singing.
Let me talk about this. What's wrong with you? Are you a human being? Are you living with us? Are you here among us, humans, while we're like actually have like real feelings or real emotion? Because some of you people behind the casting, look, somebody's pouring out their heart and soul in this audition. You're sitting there and you're just like,
yeah, it's
no
tough.
Personality. That's tough.
I had one audition
we can do better. Let's go.
I thought I was bringing something like really cool to sing, and it was crickets. So it is. I don't want to discourage you because...
No, this is not discouraging you for me. I think we're
realism.
Encouraging you.
Yeah.
This is real, okay? It doesn't matter how big you get in the Broadway world. Well, that's maybe not true. Some people, if Hugh Jackman comes in, everybody's like, oh, Hugh, how you doing? Okay, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the rest of us normal mortals, let me tell you, we walk in the room, no one's happy. It seems like, what's the problem? They've been auditioning all day, sometimes. Or if you're at the top of the day, sometimes they're happy to see you. But don't take it personally. That's the advice. Don't take this personally.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not because you're bad. It's not because you didn't do something. It's just they have their own stuff.
I was trying to give myself like a pep talk before I went in. Like, how do I make this enjoyable? Because I can't control how they're going to react to me. I can't control if they're going to give me good energy back, if they're going to be supportive, if they're going to be happy to see me, if they're going to be tired, if they're going to be hungry, they're waiting for their break. I don't know. So I was just trying to figure out, how do I maintain the energy I want to bring into the room, regardless of what I'm getting back? And that was the struggle. Before, I feel like I got into, meaning before COVID and before everything just kind of like took a big grand pause, I felt like I was able to figure out that sweet spot of, no matter what you give me, I'm ready. But that's a muscle that you work, right? Like, it takes time to develop that confidence and that feel good about yourself before you walk into an audition. And when you stay in the room and they throw something at you or don't throw anything at you, like, all of that can be really jarring.
That is so true.
It's jarring when they give you a correction, and it's jarring when they are like, okay, thank you, bye, and they don't have anything to say to you. So
yeah. What were you finding that brings you peace, like and going back in the audition room, like what helps you to stay in that, like you're talking about, stay focused?
Well, firstly, preparation. Yeah, like, as long as I feel like I really know what I'm planned to do, then I feel good. If I like what I'm wearing, I like what my hair is doing, I feel good. And I need to be comfortable in my shoes. I realized today I wore some boots that I don't normally wear, and that made me feel like a little not on solid ground. So just comfort first. And then 2, I have to give myself a pep talk. I have to think to myself, you're a badass. Like, you are gonna go in there and you're gonna do this, and it's a performance. It is not an evaluation. I had to just keep telling myself that this is a performance. This is not an evaluation. Because when you walk in it thinking it's an evaluation, then you're like, okay, I sang, and then you're like waiting for them to,
that's right,
like you or give you feedback or clap or I don't know. So yeah, still working on that. I don't think I mastered it. I don't even think I mastered it today.
Yeah, that's really good tips though, because the main thing is preparation. I feel like preparation really helps alleviate a lot of anxiety. If you find yourself feeling a lot of anxiety about a particular audition come up, just first ask yourself, have I prepared for the audition? Because if you haven't prepared yet, then a lot of the anxiety usually stems from that. It stems from a little bit of procrastination or not actually doing the, like, have I learned the song and have I learned the sides and what is this character like? And if you don't know all those things, of course you have anxiety because you don't even know how much time it's going to take to prepare, what is the material, all that. So at bare minimum, you should start by at least diving into the material and saying, okay, this is how much it is I have to learn or whatever I need to do. And then say, okay, it'll probably take me an hour to do that work, and then map it out, and then you can actually prepare and get yourself in a, alleviate some anxiety that way. Now that won't get rid of the anxiety though, like you're talking about. That'll just, but it does help.
It helps. And you gave me a really good tip recently because I was suffering from the procrastination part of it. I had been sitting down for a lot. I had to recover from a procedure, and so I just been relaxing and trying to heal, and I had all this time to work on this audition, and I just did not do it. And Austin was like, just set a timer. You pick how long you want to work on it. I picked 15 minutes. So I worked on this side for 15 minutes. I memorized it and my anxiety went down. And then, and that's really all it takes. If you have a procrastination issue, like I do, I procrastinate almost on everything. Set a timer, stick to it, turn your phone on Do Not Disturb, because won't you believe in those 15 minutes somebody called me? So set your phone on Do Not Disturb and like really commit to that small chunk of time and let it go. That's it. And then come back to it later that day, come back to it the next day. But preparation definitely decreases my anxiety.
That's right. And then the other thing you talked about I thought was really good is not just preparing, but then like day of, is the mental talk to yourself, the confidence, that it's not this terrible, monster in the room of people that are judging you and that want you to fail and that don't like you and that might say you're terrible and you don't deserve to be here. Our mind does all these things, but you kind of have to make sure you turn that off and put in the other, which is like, I'm strong. I'm confident. This is what I love to do. I'm capable. This is going to be fun. I've done the preparation, and now I'm just going to. You can't. I read a book. I forget what it was. If it was the Four Agreements or the Artist's Way, or it was one of those life books. But they talked about putting fear in the back. Like sometimes we let driving the car
in the driver's seat.
And we let fear drive the car of our life, right? Yeah. The fear is in the driver's seat. And what you really do, it's not about not having fear in your life or saying it doesn't exist. It's not about denial. It's saying, fear, you live in the back seat. You can be back there buckled up, but I'm driving the car. And I always love that analogy. We talk about it sometimes. I think it's really helpful because it's not about just saying you shouldn't have the feelings of fear. You shouldn't have that. It's not that. It's more about saying right now you're in your mind, you're letting fear drive, or anxiety is driving it, and you have to, somewhere in you have to say, get in the back seat. Confidence is going to drive, or whatever it is that helps you. But I think that's really good, important advice, that you have to be kind to yourself and really kind of get yourself
to pep yourself up.
And
if it helps too, like sometimes pumping someone else up in the room, not overly so, but just, sending encouraging energy to the other people waiting to audition too, makes you feel good too. It's reciprocal. Yeah. Whether they give it back or not, you've given it to them, it's there. It's in the room. And, maybe that's like a spiritual way of thinking of it.
That's true.
I find that when I'm kind in the room, I keep that positivity on me. And when I'm anxious in the room and I'm like, skeptical of everyone, I walk right into the door with that energy. And I don't like that version of it.
It goes the same for casting people. Like I would tell, because I'm on the other side of the desk, as a music director, I sit and I watch auditions, but I always try to operate that way. And I always hope that the other people behind the desk and directors and casting directors and producers act that way, that we are giving love and confidence and bringing all that in the room as well.
This was one of those auditions where, the one today was one of those auditions where they asked me for two sides and a cut of the song from the show, and then a song of my choosing. And I have to be honest, like full transparency, my book looked crazy. It had all these different workshops that I had done, and it was all neat and tidy, but these were not songs that I was ready to sing. So I had to take everything out of my book. I put 3 songs in my book that I was ready to sing. And I realized that I have a lot of work to do. Gratefully so, Austin has just finished making this really amazing course. It's on our website, 32barcut.com, where you can go and learn how to finesse and perfect your book. And you will never look like me walking into an audition. And, you know, I'm being transparent with you guys because that's what we prefer to do on Broadway Banter. But yeah, my book looked like trash.
Yeah, we're really excited about this new course because I've been working on it for a couple years now. For our subscribers that know, we were posting videos a lot for a long time, but then things got really busy. We started going back to work and getting crazy, but I was dedicating time all the time to making this course for you all. So that's done.
It's done.
We launched it. We
It's
actually
available.
just launched the beta and, you know, starting to get some students enrolled, and we've already seen students enrolling in the course, so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go to 32barcut.com/academy, you'll find the course and you'll see everything we offer there. We do a full course on your audition book, getting your audition book start to finish. It's like 10 modules, 18 hours of videos. It's all like every detail you could possibly need to understand what to do in your audition book. I
Truly.
get into it. And it's a full course. And then we have another one that's a full auditioning course. So we talk about everything, how to act a song. And included, of course, is the audition book in that. But we talk about the room, the casting directors, how to find auditions, getting, you know, how to find sheet music, you know, how to act these songs, how to walk into the room with confidence, all these kind of things. We talk about that in a full course. So if you're interested in like all of the details of what we're talking about today, like the nitty gritty, you can take this course.
And then also what Austin did, which is really cool, is he made these companion books that just have lists of songs that you can choose based on your vocal type and based on the type of musical it is. So check that out. It is all very helpful. I need to check it out. I'm fortunate that I have him here, that he helps me out. I know I'm spoiled in that way, but yeah, my book was a mess. So I cleaned that up, and then we didn't even end up choosing. Like, they didn't ask for anything, which kind of bummed me out because I was really excited about the song I chose, but that happens.
It does happen. It's important to remember that when you ask you, casting is giving you the breakdown in the notice for the audition, or your agent, if you have an agent. It's important to remember that though they ask for 2 songs contrasting, they ask for these sides. Adrienne recently went into an audition that asked her to prepare a good 10-page side. I mean, a whole big chunk, and then they did 1 page of it. That happens a lot, but it's up to you to do the preparation. I know you may not use it, but it's better to err on the side of that being
That
prepared.
you know it, and yeah.
And definitely don't take it personally if they don't ask you to do it. Because that doesn't mean anything. It just means that they have a lot to get through the day, or they may love you. So, like, sometimes they fall in love with you instantly, and they're just like,
We've seen enough.
we've seen enough. We don't need to see everything.
Absolutely. I've booked a job just that way. There were no sides. I sang half a song, and they were like, okay, thank you. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they called me back the next day, and I was like, okay. Came in, sang it again. They were like, okay, great. And I was like, don't know what this means, but I booked it. So you just never know. Sometimes they don't feel like they need to give you direction or correction or anything like that. They don't need to see anything different. They're confident in you. And so, you know, if you can try to cut down on the negative self-talk that happens to all of us, then you'll do yourself a favor and just enjoy it. Like, I really wanted to enjoy today's audition. And it's always a struggle. Like, say you walk in there and the reader is doing something crazy. Usually they're not. Usually the readers are great. But what if they are? Or the accompanist does something crazy and it just gets in your head, and then your audition goes off the rails. It doesn't have to be like that. You can just this is a performance, laugh it, let it roll off your shoulder, and try.
Yeah.
And to be fair, still a work in progress over here.
Of course, yeah. It's for all of us. It's hard not to take things personally or to make it about us. Most of the time, it's not. You know, they're going through their own situation in the casting room. They've got a lot going on, their own fires to put out if you're a casting agent. So it's not worth making it all about you and thinking that it's somehow personal or they don't like you or whatever it is.
Another thing, too, which surprised me, out of those auditions, 3 of them asked for a hard copy of my headshot and resume, and 2 didn't. So just keep that in mind, that it depends on the casting director, and so you should always have it in your binder. Just have one, at least have one on you, because some casting directors are still really old school, some directors are still very old school, and we just want something physical of you in their face when they're watching your audition.
Yep, going back to that preparation thing, if you've got your headshot and resume, if you've got a good book assembled, if you've done the work of preparing the sides, if you've done all those things, that anxiety that we talked about is gonna be less.
Yeah.
Because you've done all those things, you've got it in order. But when you don't have a headshot, you're running around anxious about that. I gotta go to Staples, I gotta get my headshot, I gotta print it. It's too much. So just do yourself a favor, get organized, have that headshot and resume ready to go, have your book prepared in a great way, which we can help you with if you need. Yeah, and then do the work.
Do the work. And we believe in you, and we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you always. We are going to get better at answering questions that you guys write down on the comments. I've been answering questions all day today, and we'll continue to do so. But we're back in the mix. Speaking of being back in the mix,
You've pulled up our Instagram.
I pulled up our Instagram because I did pose a question to our Instagram followers, and folks have questions, so we're going to answer them now.
That's great.
Okay, so Joanna says, hello, I would like to know how you become a musical theater performer. Sincerely, Joanna.
Hey, Joanna.
Hey, Joanna. That is, we can just give like a really good cut and dry answer, because it can be broad.
Yeah, I've got a 60-minute monologue that I can give on this. How to be a musical theater actor?
Yeah.
Boy.
So you start with, I mean, there's different ways to start. We both started in a very unconventional way. But I would say that if you are in a good place to go to a program or something like that, where you can get connections and learn the ropes, that's a great place to start. But really, the cut and dry of it is that you just need to audition, have material to audition with, have a foundation as an actor. When you book work and you've established yourself, then you've become a musical theater actor. And dancing is definitely a part of musical theater. So it would be helpful to take some dance courses.
Yeah, I would say it like this. I would say immerse yourself first, train, and then do. So immerse yourself, watch other musical theater, go to musical theater, watch videos of musical theater, understand what the genre is, read books about it. That's part of the immersion. If you want to do something in life, it doesn't matter what it is, you got to immerse yourself in it so that you know what it is. So do that first. Then train yourself. Doesn't matter if you're young, go to school for it, and if that's really what you want to do. If you're not young and you're older like us, maybe we won't give our age, but a little bit older, then the best thing for you is to train yourself either through courses like what we offer. We offer how to do this from start to finish. Find other people that teach how to do this online. Go to your local school. Maybe they're giving night classes. There's some little acting classes you can take. Train yourself that way. You don't just have to go to school for something in order to do it. We didn't, and we're here doing it. And the last thing is to do it. So to just get out and do it. There's all kinds of classes or fun nights where there's actors getting together.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, at least starting out, it doesn't have to be paid. It could just be,
it doesn't have to be Broadway.
No.
You can go to any tiny storefront. There's a community of people doing acting and getting together. So just start meeting people, networking. Just get out there and do it.
All right, Sierra asks, best places to live as an actor?
Oh, NYC, New York, London, Sydney, all the big cities.
Yeah. Atlanta is also a good, affordable place to live. They have musical theater. St. Louis has a repertory theater. Milwaukee has a repertory theater.
Why do I say big cities? Yeah, the reason is you could do it anywhere. So it's like best cities to live. We could literally say any city.
Yeah.
But the reason I list New York, LA, Chicago, London, Sydney, these are big cities that we're naming. And why does that matter? Just because of the number of opportunities. Yeah. New York is a great example. There's just so many opportunities. You can find little tiny storefront theaters, just doing stuff. Mm-hmm. You can find off Broadway. You can find off Broadway. You can have Broadway. So you can have tours. Here you can audition for cruise ships. Everything auditions in New York. Yeah. And same with LA, especially for TV and film. It's a little bit different industry, but for theater on stage, New York. So why not give yourself more opportunities opportunities
Yeah.
and live in a place where at least you get a lot of opportunities. Can you do that in St. Louis and Atlanta? Of course you can. There's tons
Yeah.
of opportunities, but it just may be a tiny bit smaller than, say, New York. But there's also more people. So,
Yes.
So, you know.
Okay, next question. Jennifer asks, Open Call doesn't list the role you want's music. They're suggesting pop, rock song, or cut from the show. Does this mean the role is cast? No. It's just a preliminary casting call. So if they say they want a cut from the show, they're not saying that that role is cut from the show. They're saying they want a 32-bar cut or a 16-bar cut of the song, of a song from the show.
Yeah, usually when a role is cast, they say.
They say cast.
It'll say cast.
Yeah.
So normally if they're, I wouldn't read into it.
They're not going to list music for you on open calls. That's research that we as actors
usually.
have to do.
Yeah, not usually.
Yeah. So if they're saying sing a song from the show, they're leaving it up to you. So you go research the show. If there's a role there that you want, you're like, this is me. Then pick a song from that character, make a cut, and sing that cut. That's it. That's all they're asking for.
That's it.
All right. I'm not sure who this is. It's a thanks for the memories. They said picking the best song for your voice range. Definitely.
Yeah. I actually you were talking about these repertoire collections that I made. I actually made some books to help with this. You can see them on our website at 32barcut.com. You'll find them. Basically, these repertoire collections they break every category down. So say Disney, if you're just looking for Disney, then within Disney I have all these chapters based on different types, so whether it's vocal type, whether it's the vocal range, whether it's the composer, the song, the show that it's from, all these different ways of arranging all these recommended songs you can find repertoire from. So check that out if it's something you're looking for. But basically finding songs for your voice range, that's tricky because
it's not just your voice range. It's your
Right.
character type
it's more
too.
about type and a
So
lot of things.
it's not just I can sing from A3 to E5. Okay, great. But what kind of characters are you going to be playing? What's your age range? What's your gender?
That's right.
So that matters too.
Your type is way more important than range because you can
Absolutely.
always transpose and change keys.
Yes.
So you don't have to be limited to just the actual key something's in. It's more about what the song is about, the acting of it, and the type.
The song I was going to sing today is traditionally sung by a man, but something about that song spoke to me. I felt like I could really deliver the story that I wanted to tell with it. So it didn't matter that it was originally sung by a man. I didn't even change the lyrics. But anyway, and then our last question isn't so much a question, but just Niall Birch says, "Shut up! I miss this so much. I graduated and I am in an off-Broadway show. Congratulations!
Oh, that's amazing!
That is awesome. I'm
Congratulations.
so glad to hear that."
We actually hear this all the time, and it's like the only reason we do this, because believe it or not, we are busy, but we really want to help.
Yeah.
That's why Adrienne started 32 Bar Cut, and I jumped in because we didn't go to school for this. We went to the school for the arts, but we didn't do musical theater.
Yeah.
And now we're doing musical theater and
we kind of walked blind for years.
TV and film
so.
now. Adrienne's a big TV and film star. But all this is happening, and we really want to help you.
Yeah.
We want to help people that didn't go to school for this, and even if you did, just learn about the business and what's actually happening in the business, not right now. Like what is happening in the business at this very moment, as opposed to like learning from someone who maybe thinks they know about what happens in the moment, but they haven't been in it for 30 years. We want to help you. So it's so great to hear that we're actually people are getting, help from this, and they're booking stuff and feeling confident.
Tell us more stories like that.
We love it.
We love receiving that. And we're really grateful to all of you. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Hit that like button, share with your friends, share with your theater friends. If you're a theater student, let them know about our channel.
And
hopefully it helps.
And please check out the course. We worked really hard on it, and we're really proud of it. And
by we mean him, because he did it all.
Moral support,
did all the work.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Best of luck to you on all of your auditions and all of your prep. Speak kind words to yourself.
Yes, please be kind to
And
yourself.
we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.